Hong Kong is not just about the busy city life and bright neon lights. It's also made up of many peaceful outlying islands. Each island has its own unique character and story. And the setting of our story this time, Cheung Chau. The story I'm about to tell actually happened 20 years ago. Back then, I had 3 best friends. That year, the 4 of us had just graduated from university. At the time, it was common for students to go on graduation trips. We realized we had never traveled together before. So we spontaneously decided to take a 2-day, 1-night trip to Cheung Chau. Things weren't as convenient back then. No hotel booking websites, and not even any photos to check online. We just went to a local agent and booked a holiday home. The agent only asked us how many people, how many nights, took our money, and gave us an address. That's it. The rental price was quite cheap, about $40 per night in total. When we arrived at the resort, the first thing we did was go to the reception to collect the keys. The reception was really just a small shop. Interestingly, they also had mahjong sets and badminton rackets at the back for guests to borrow. We got our keys and excitedly went off to find our holiday house. As soon as we opened the door to the holiday house, the 4 of us were completely stunned. The room was ridiculously small. I don't think it was even 150 square feet. But somehow, they managed to squeeze in 2 double beds, each about 4 feet wide, plus a private bathroom. Just imagine how little space was left to even walk around. But the worst part wasn't the size. It was the condition of the room. And the room wasn't just old. It was dirty. So dirty that we didn't even want to touch anything. The bed sheets looked like they hadn't been changed in 10 years. And the floor was sticky and gross. To put it simply, in our eyes, this place felt like a haunted house. We were still young at the time, and it was actually our first time booking a hotel or holiday home by ourselves. So we didn't know what to do right away. After talking it over, we decided to try offering more money to see if we could get a better room. We went back to the reception and told the owner, "Boss, your room is way too dirty. It honestly feels like a haunted house. Can we pay more to switch to a cleaner one?" The owner didn't get mad when he heard us call it a haunted house. In fact, he just smiled and said, "It's peak season. All the good rooms are already taken. There really aren't any left." We really didn't want to stay, so we said, "Then how about this? Just refund us half the money and we'll leave. We really don't want to stay in that haunted room." That's when the owner finally said slowly, "Well, actually, there's one more room. But it's really, really small. Can't even fit a mahjong table. It's gonna feel super cramped." Without missing a beat, all 4 of us said, "No problem. We don't play mahjong anyway." In the end, the owner agreed to let us switch rooms. And the best part, he didn't charge us anything extra. Of course, we happily accepted the offer right away. When we opened the door to the new room, the 4 of us were instantly relieved. This room was much brighter and way cleaner. The interior looked quite new, almost like it hadn't been used much at all. The beds were spotless, like the sheets had just been changed. The floor was dry and tidy. None of that sticky, grimy feeling we got from the previous room. Since this room was already clean and comfortable, we didn't care about the size anymore, and told the owner we were happy to take it. Of course, we couldn't help but talk behind the owner's back a bit. We joked that his place was basically a scam, pretending there were no good rooms left. But the moment we mentioned a refund, suddenly a nice room appeared. Sneaky guy. That night, the 4 of us were having dinner outside our holiday house, barbecuing by the entrance. Nothing really unusual happened that evening. The other guests staying nearby were also young people around our age, and most of them were doing the same, grilling food and having drinks. After we finished eating, the 4 of us kept chatting and drinking beer. The more we drank, the more hyped up we got. We talked and laughed all the way until around 3 a.m. By then, we were all getting tired and a little tipsy, so we decided to shower and go to bed. But at that moment, for some reason, I suddenly said, "Sleep? Come on, let's play mahjong instead." My friend Ah Sing immediately replied, "In this tiny room, we can't even fit a mahjong table. Who's gonna play with you? Ghosts?" I quickly told him, "Hey, don't say stuff like that." But Ah Sing just laughed and said, "What? You scared? Just by saying that, some ghost is gonna follow you." After that little joke, we didn't actually play mahjong. Everyone showered and went straight to bed. That night, the four of us slept in 2 double beds. I shared a bed with Ah Sing, while the other 2 friends slept in the other one. The 3 of us slept deeply, but Ah Sing, he seemed to hear someone whispering right next to his ear. "Hey, didn't you say you wanted to play mahjong?" Ah Sing was so tired at the time that he just mumbled back, "Half asleep. Go away, let me sleep." But that voice spoke again. "We've got 3 people. We're just waiting on you. Come on, get up and play mahjong." Ah Sing thought it was just us messing with him, so he didn't respond and simply turned over and kept sleeping. The next morning, he asked us, "Why were you guys waking me up last night? Talking about mahjong?" We immediately told him, "What are you talking about? We were all fast asleep." No one said anything about playing mahjong. We all thought about it for a moment, and then just assumed maybe Ah Sing had a weird dream. So we didn't think too much more about it. For the entire month afterward, every time the 3 of us tried to meet up at night, just to grab a drink or hang out, Ah Sing always said the same thing. He was too tired, too sleepy, not in the mood. At first, we didn't think too much of it. Maybe he really was exhausted, or maybe he was being moody. Sometimes he was like that. We figured he'd come around eventually. But after a whole month, and not even one appearance, we started to worry. So we reached out to his family to see if something was actually wrong. That's when things got creepy. His older sister told us that ever since Ah Sing came back from that Cheung Chau trip, he hadn't been sleeping like normal. In fact, every night, right at 3 a.m., he would get up, go to the living room, and set up a mahjong table. And then he'd sit there and start playing, by himself. At first, his family thought he was just sleepwalking, but it kept happening, night after night. And he wasn't quiet, he was really loud. The sounds of the tiles clacking, chairs scraping, even him mumbling to himself, it woke everyone up. Every time they asked him about it the next morning, he had no memory of it at all. He didn't even believe them. His family brought him to a doctor. The doctor diagnosed him with stress-related sleep disorder and gave him sleeping pills. For the first few days, the pills worked. He stayed in bed, but by the end of the first week, even with the pills, he was back up again, sitting in the dark, playing invisible mahjong with no one. Eventually, his family had enough. They threw away the entire mahjong table, all the tiles, everything. But what happened next was worse. Ah Sing still woke up every night at 3 a.m. and pretended to play mahjong, even though there was nothing there. That was when his mother gave up on doctors and turned to a feng shui master. The moment the master saw Ah Sing, he didn't hesitate. He said there are 3 spirits following him. He asked when this started, and when he heard it was right after the Cheung Chau trip, he nodded slowly. They followed him back. From there, the master performed a ritual on the spot to drive the spirits away. He also gave Ah Sing very clear instructions. For the next month, he must eat vegetarian only. No meat, no fish, and no killing, not even stepping on an ant. After the ritual was performed by the master, Ah Sing really did stop sleepwalking. This whole thing didn't come up again until a year later. One night, Ah Sing had a bit too much to drink and finally told the 3 of us what had actually happened. I guess he hadn't said anything earlier because he was afraid we'd laugh at him. After that, We wanted to tell another story about Cheung Chau. This story has actually been passed around in Hong Kong for many years. It's another strange incident that happened in a holiday house. It happened in the 1990s. During the summer, 3 boys planned a trip to Cheung Chau. They wanted to rent a holiday house and stay for one night. That day, when they arrived on the island, the weather was really good, sunny and bright. They played on the beach for a while, then went to get the keys to their holiday house. While they were on their way to collect the keys, all 3 of them saw a woman at the same time. She was wearing a long-sleeved red top and walking around the area, looking like she was asking people something, but her voice was so quiet, they couldn't hear clearly what she was saying. What was even stranger was that no one replied to her. No matter how she asked, everyone ignored her completely, as if she didn't exist. At first, the 3 boys didn't think much of it. They just thought she might be a local woman who had some mental problems, so they didn't pay attention to her. After getting the keys, they went into their holiday house. The house was quite clean. They put down their bags and got ready to go back to the beach and have some more fun. But just as they were about to open the door and head out, the moment they opened it, they saw that same woman in red standing right outside the door. All 3 of them were shocked. The woman's face was pale and white, with no color at all. Even her lips were white, like a dead person. She looked very disturbing. None of them knew what to do. They stood there in silence for a few seconds, not saying a word. Then, the woman softly said, "Have you seen my son?" At that moment, one of the boys, named Alung, felt annoyed after being scared, and decided to say something just to mess with her. He asked, "How old is your son? What is he wearing?" The woman replied in a voice so soft it was barely audible, "My son is 8 years old. He's wearing red. Have you seen him? He's gone missing." Alung quickly said, "Oh, the one in red? Yeah, we just saw him on the beach. You better go check over there." After that, the 3 of them went to the beach as planned. While they were playing, they talked about the woman in red they had seen earlier. It was over 30 degrees Celsius, but she was still wearing a long-sleeved red shirt, walking around looking for a child. It was definitely strange. Alung even joked, "I wonder if she ever found her kid." Time passed quickly as they played around. Before they knew it, the afternoon was over, and it was already dark. At night, the 3 of them got ready to barbecue for dinner. After eating, they planned to take a shower and get ready for bed. But just then, someone knocked on the door. Alung was the quickest to react. He went over and opened the door to see who it was. As soon as he opened it, it was that same woman in red again. She stared at Alung with empty eyes and no expression on her face. Then she said, "I couldn't find my son on the beach. You said he was there, but I couldn't find him at all." Alung thought to himself, "How is your missing son my problem? Why are you still coming to me?" But he didn't say that out loud. Instead, he decided to mess with her one more time. He pretended to answer seriously, "I just saw him again, but before you got there, he had already left." He finished playing in the sand and walked off toward the pier. "You better go now. If he gets on a ferry and leaves, you might never find him." After saying that, Alung closed the door and didn't pay her any more attention. After spending a really fun holiday in Cheung Chau, the 3 boys each went back home. That same night, right after Alung got home, someone suddenly knocked on his door. He went to open it, and the moment he did, he froze. Standing at his doorstep was the same woman he had seen in Cheung Chau, the one wearing a long-sleeved red shirt, with a pale, bloodless face. Just like before, she had no expression. Her voice was so soft it was almost impossible to hear. And she asked Alung again, "Have you seen my son?" Alung immediately slammed the door shut and hid inside his room. For the next few days, he didn't dare go outside. He was scared he might run into that woman in red again. Then, one day, while he was at home watching TV, the news came on. It was reporting that a mother and her son had gone missing in Cheung Chau several days ago, and no one had been able to find them. But today, their bodies were finally discovered in a wooded area near the hillside. The scariest part was that when they found the bodies, both the mother and the boy were wearing red clothes. The news even showed a photo of the woman. When Alung saw the picture, he was completely stunned, because the woman in the photo looked exactly like the one he had seen in Cheung Chau, and at his front door that night. The holiday resort we stayed in that year was built in 1983, with around 250 units in total. But what most people probably don't know is that since it was completed, there have been at least 20 deaths reported within the resort. Because of so many past incidents, the owners there have set some pretty strict rules for renting out rooms. For example, they won't rent a room to a single person. You must have at least 2 people or more. And if someone tries to check in carrying a bag of charcoal, they'll refuse to rent the room altogether. What's even more unsettling is that every time an incident happens, those rooms are quickly renovated and cleaned up, then rented out to new guests again. Sometimes the room numbers are even changed, so no one can tell which units had a history. Later on, when the 4 of us got together again and talked about everything, we couldn't help but wonder. If we hadn't insisted on switching to that cleaner, newer-looking room, would anything have happened at all? Maybe. Sometimes, being too picky isn't always a good thing. And if you've made it this far and you still don't know what mahjong is, don't worry. I'll be doing another video soon, all about a ghost story involving mahjong. So stay tuned for that. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment below to tell me if you've ever had a creepy experience like this. I'll see you in the next one.